Good morning. This is Aya of the Dawn. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Okay, so I'm just going to jump right into it. So, a lot of you guys probably don't know because I've just been making a bunch of tarot readings and stuff like that. But I started this channel wanting to, I guess, share my wisdom and insight in my life because I'm a daughter of a narcissist, which I call the narcissistic archetype running through her because I don't really feel like it is her. I feel like it's like a program that that enters into like a nervous system of a person based off of trauma that has to do with not being loved. And that's just kind of put it simply, you know. So I've been no contact, and this is only for people who don't know. And if you do already know this information, feel free to skip. But I've been no contact from my narcissistic family system for 7 or 8 years, and I'm the scapegoat. Well, maybe 6 or 7 years. I'm the scapegoat in the family, and also like the savior at the same time. And for those of you who don't know, narcissistic family systems, everyone has a role to play. And everyone's put into a box and a category. And to break out of that box and that category is to disrupt the whole family system, which I did when I went no contact. So then what happened is that my narcissistic mother wasn't able to keep her balance, which is dysfunctional, but her dysfunction was out of whack, and she began to scapegoat other people in the family system, which is why people wanted me back into the family system. It caused a lot of tension in the family, not having someone to scapegoat. And so what happens is she scapegoated people who weren't used to being scapegoated. That's not their original role. They would eventually leave as well, over and over again over time, you know. And now she's completely out of the picture for the most part. Now, some of my brothers and sisters will let her like back in from time to time for certain things like giving money, or just because, you know, they're on her side against another sibling. I.e., my brother got into a really, really, really bad fight with her because he stood up for himself and told her she had to leave his apartment because she was being like completely abusive and disrespectful and causing lots of stress and tension, which is a narcissist's way of throwing a tantrum when they're not in control of the system anymore. And so she ended up biting him. They had a tussle, and the police was called by both my mother and my brother's fiance. And so one of my sisters really got angry that my brother's fiance called the police. She's white as well. That makes it even more like a thing. And so, yeah, she doesn't agree with that. Now she's mad at them. I mean, everybody in my family system is like mad at each other for like different reasons and stuff. And so I thought that because our narcissistic mother was out of our way, we could begin to rebuild relationships that were based off of who we really are. I'm like, yay, now we can like get to know each other. I was really looking forward to it. But what I found is that me being authentic is disruptive to their system. What I've learned through my own healing, and the reason why the healing process is so long and arduous, is because when you go no contact, I have found that I had to also heal my connection to dysfunction, narcissistic people. It seemed like I was groomed to only be able to live in a narcissistic system. So I had to learn basically how to receive love, how to let people be there for me, because what happened within my nervous system is that I got used to not being cared for. So that part of me that needed love shut down and became numb. And so people will be talking to me or giving to me, and there's just nothing like coming back to them from my energy. I might respond or like even like show love, but when your energy is closed down, people can feel that. And a lot of times people take it negative, like you think you're better than them, or it's just the message that gets sent out through my own frequency wasn't the message that really was cohesive with who I really am and my identity. So basically, I had to heal my somatic experience of my own identity and really get in touch with the sensuousness of connection and life force energy, and get my nervous system okay with bonding with people. And there was lots of panic attacks inside, and lots of things to be aware of and sit with over long periods of time, like every day for me. So going back into my family system, what I found is that it's the same way for them. They have just begun their journey of becoming more authentic. They have lived within the narcissistic dysfunction for a while, and they deserve their time to heal. And I'm finding that I have to remove myself again. At first, the thought made me really sad, and I felt like kind of cheated. But now I'm seeing that it's what's best, because me being around is abusive to them. They feel like I'm dismissive of what the things they care about. And I am, because the things they care about aren't necessarily authentic and true to their identity. The things they care about have to do with the role they play in the narcissistic system and the role I'm supposed to play, and I'm totally not into being in those types of boxes. And so I'm finding that my brothers and sisters are like getting mad at me. And yesterday, my sister told me this, and I'm so glad she told me. It really caused me to have a breakdown inside, because all these years I kind of stood on standby just in case anybody needed me. I've been worried, sick about them, just worried that something was going to happen. Like maybe they would get into a fight with her and somebody's going to die. Like my narcissistic archetype is very violent. My mother's narcissistic archetype, if she can't have her way, her narcissistic rage goes from just snarky, bitter remarks, like cutting you down, abandonment, neglect, and just coldness towards you, invalidation, to like punching you in the face and then calling the police and getting you locked up, which is why I just completely had to leave the system. I'm like, oh, if I want to be myself at all in my life, then I can't have that. I don't need that. And I feel like it's violent for me to stay around just to invalidate them, even though I can see that it's not. I'm not dealing with the real them and their true emotions. I'm dealing with like a construct of a false self-image that's being held up by, having to survive in a system that's unhealthy. That was unhealthy for all of us. And I do believe that one day they'll get there where they can be themselves, but I don't feel like they'll get there with me helping them. And so my sister told me that she had been drinking heavily and having blackout situations and stuff. And oftentimes whenever they have a crisis, they call me, because I'm the scapegoat / second mom. And so And I have accepted that role, and it has been a burden on me. And I was talking about that. It has been a burden on me in the sense that I'm so worried about them not being okay. And now that now that our narcissist is gone, well, not our, but the narcissist is gone, I'm not worried about that part as much. But now I'm worried about how they feel when they're alone, like their psychology and stuff. I want them to be healthy, build a high self-esteem. So I kind of like stay around, and just in case they need me. And they know that, and they know that they can depend on that, but they don't like that I don't validate them in a lot of ways that honestly are insane to me. And I can't deny it. And I was honest about that. I'm like, you know what? You're right. I do that. And it's because we're not on the same page when it comes to what's important in life. You know, my values are different. I've had a lot more time to be alone and to learn what's important to me, and not just kind of be robotic and be like, this is how I'm supposed, this is who I am a da da da. You know, I don't know. You guys know what I'm saying, right? You know, in narcissistic family systems, in ours, our mother wanted to be popular. She wanted to be popping. She wanted to be like a bad girl, even though she's like a nerd. She's really smart. She wanted to be seen as the image that we're all supposed to uphold in order to get along with the narcissist. Is like very too one-dimensional almost. It's like a cartoon character. And a lot of times I call it out because it's uncomfortable for me. I'm like, let's not, can we not? You know, and that is rude to them. And I understand that. Yes. And also they don't take my authentic self seriously because you're not allowed to be authentic and happy if you're not rich. That's also another narcissist thing. Like, I'm not rich, I'm not rolling in money, so I don't deserve to have confidence in myself or tell anybody anything or share anything or like walk around. I'm supposed to hold my head down or like keep it mute and cute and just like not live in the fullness of my being at all. And so they don't they call me when they have a problem or when they want nurturing, but they don't have the expectation of themselves to respect themselves or me for who we actually are as people. And so I try to teach them that, and it offends them. So now it's like I have to go no contact again and let them fly, you know, let them fly and find their wings, and find help that is appropriate for them, because me helping them is a no bueno, and it's not helpful. It causes more problems for me and for them. So I bow out. I don't really need to be in that role for my self-esteem. I can let it go. It's another false construct that has held on to, has too much weight in my personality. It's who I am, but it's not worth missing out on maybe having more of a life for myself. Because after I had a good cry about, feeling, I'm like, man, I'm very unappreciated and I care so much. It just doesn't come through, that's not how they feel. I felt pretty shitty. And, I was like, well, is there anything I can do to change it? Is there anything I can do to make it better? Because my little sister's like, well, we didn't want to tell you how you make us feel, because then we won't have you in our lives anymore. Which is a valid point. They were scared that if they told me that, the truth, I would leave. And so I kind of wrestled with that. I'm like, do I absolutely have to remove myself, or can I just still kind of stay around? I'm like, well, I can't, because it'll be a repeating, never-ending cycle, until they learn what it means to respect themselves and hold themselves in high regard as human beings, just for who they are, not because of the placement they have in the family system, but as individuals, then we probably won't be able to truly, sincerely support one another in the same space. Again, more. It's never ending. And I also had to realize that I have been going through my healing process for 7 years, and they're just starting. So I would have loved to be able to guide them through it, but it's just too much dissonance. They were groomed to not respect me, and to not take me seriously, but to take my love and support. And another thing I do notice is that they all do a lot better when I'm around, but then what happens is they start disrespecting me, and I'll leave. And then they start doing bad again, and then they'll call me again. It's like they have to learn how to cope on their own, and they weren't mothered properly. I mean, neither was I, but I was willing and still am willing to put in the really, really, really deep, hard work on my own every day to learn what it is to sincerely care about myself. Love on myself, be my own mom, and that means even going to therapy, going to healers, Reiki healers, and getting my own readings. I give readings, I get readings. And it's a part of life, because like I always say, Mother Nature is in a constant state of healing and life death cycling, regeneration, taking off layers and becoming anew. It's a normal part of everyday life to live and decline, live and decline. Everything has that cycle. This is the truth. This is the truth of my existence. How about you? Thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting, even sharing my videos. I appreciate it. This is a topic that has lots of subtopics, and I would love to keep the conversation going. I've been in a haze trying to figure out what's the best things for me to heal within my own being, or the best ways for me to go. And this is something that when she told me the truth, it was really something that I didn't know, that I was holding on really tight inside of my energy. And it was a blockage for me, and a blind spot, because I'm like, what is this energy? And it's me holding on to my family, who wants me around to feed off of me. They don't look at it like that, but they want me around to feed off of my good energy. Like, I went over to my brother's house the other day, who's having a baby, and it's devastating because I feel it in my soul, and I'm like, I can't be around. It's unhealthy for me. It's just really unhealthy for me. And that makes me sad, because it's like he wants me around to be like a nurturing guidance, but at the same time, they don't respect me as a person. I can't be around. I cannot be around. And I'm not going to be. And to be honest with you, if I could just tell you a secret,